Okay, so I know many of you won't believe me, but I use the sun to lose 86 pounds, right? And I'm gonna prove it to you. And I don't have a lot of time either because I got somewhere to go. So I'm gonna try to prove this to you. I got the whiteboard ready though and everything, right? Um, so I lost 86 pounds. I reversed my high blood pressure. I had high cholesterol. I had pre-diabetes. And I'm gonna share with y'all how the sun contributed to the success of my health and weight loss journey. And many people don't really understand the real power and benefits behind the sun. Like, pay attention, okay? Because what I'm gonna share with y'all is literally life changing. Like, it changed my life, right? It changed my life. So I just want to share with you how I was able to do that. And so let's just get straight into it because, like I said, I don't really have as much time as I would like to have to break this down. So first of all, just to kind of go over some basic things real quick, um, we know that we have hormones and neurotransmitters in our body, and hormones and neurotransmitters, they do what? They tell us what to do, right? Like insulin tells, like, yo, let's metabolize the carbs or the sugars. Uh, Serotonin says feel good. You know what I'm saying? So on and so forth. We know how that works. Now, so imagine this. We have the sun up here, right? Boom. And then we have us, right? Actually, let me try to give it an actual body instead of just a stick figure. Okay? We have us. We're happy because we're in the sun. Okay. Now, so you're standing in the sun, and we have the sunlight, the rays, right? And it's shining everywhere, and it shines and hits you, and it hits your skin. Okay, and inside of your skin, we have fat cells. So these circles I'm drawing inside of this body are fat cells. Okay, we all have fat in us, no matter how lean you may be. We all have fat cells. We have brown fat cells and white fat cells, right? Now, and our fat cells, many people don't know this. Our fat cells have light receptors. Okay, so the light from the sun can penetrate your skin, and when it penetrates your skin, it communicates, it goes to the light receptors because it's receptors to receive the light, right? And so when the light hits the fat cells in the light receptors, receive the light from the fat cells. Once that happens, it sends a message to your body and communicates with the hormones in your body. Okay, and we just went over how hormones pretty much tell your body what to do. So what hormones does what hormones does it communicate with, right? What hormones is waking up like, yo, what we need to do when the light hits the light receptors in your fat cells inside of your body? What happens? So one of the hormones is, and as a matter of fact, like, really pay attention to this, because if y'all look, there's a lot of people dealing with Ozempic, right? Dealing with like the GLP-1 pills and stuff like that. What I'm teaching you, it teaches the natural way to have this phenomenon happen in your body, so you don't have to actually take Ozempic and get those negative side effects. Okay, just listen to what I'm gonna share with you. I'm gonna teach you how to have your body do those same things naturally. Okay, so because GLP-1, right? That's what they would call a satiety hormone. Okay, glucagon-like peptide. One, it's a satiety hormone. We have leptin, is a satiety hormone. We have neuropeptide YY, is a satiety hormone. What is a satiety hormone? What do I mean when I say that? These are hormones that make you feel full. These are hormones that say you can stop eating now because we feel satiated, we feel full. So when you eat your food, and then when you get to the point where it's like, oh, I don't want any more. I don't have the appetite anymore. I'm full. It's your satiety hormones telling you that. Okay? It's the satiety hormones telling you that. And real quick, a big issue is a, literally, statistically speaking, 86% of the calories that we consume, we'll say, doesn't have a relationship with the satiety hormones in your body, and that's why we always overeat. But I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. So this especially, it deals with all of it, but sunlight especially deals with the leptin hormone. Okay, it deals with all of them, but especially the leptin hormone. So the sunlight penetrates your skin, gets to the fat cells, to the light receptors of the fat cells. That then communicates with the leptin hormone. Okay, so these are satiety hormones, hormones that make you. I'm gonna write this over again, right? I want specifically with leptin. So leptin is a satiety hormone. Let me just write that up here. Satiety hormone. And satiety hormones such as leptin makes you feel full. And to feel full is to be fulfilled. Uh-oh. We got a little deeper than plan on getting, right? This plays a part. So why is this important? The main thing, like when I work with people and I work with clients and I'm coaching groups and stuff like that, the number one thing is I can't stay consistent, right? I just don't have the discipline or the willpower. Why? Because you always want to eat. You're always feeling hungry. It's because these satiety hormones, especially leptin, is not activated. They're compromised, right? You're leptin resistant. Like we talk about, we talk about insulin resistance. There's leptin resistance, and they actually tend to go hand in hand a lot. Okay, so this means when it's time to eat and stuff, when you eat your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's easier to feel full. The satiety hormones is ready to go. They're ready to come up and tell you, yo, we had enough to eat. You can stop eating. If you could feel full, you don't have to keep eating because the satiety hormone, leptin especially, has been activated. You feel full, and to feel full is to be fulfilled. Okay? How else can we know this? Because what's another hormone that comes from the sun? It's another hormone that comes from the sun. Nobody else calls it satiety hormone. It's not known as a satiety hormone in the scientific community or nothing. But going off of this definition, this principle is to feel full is to be fulfilled. I would call this a satiety hormone to a degree. Another hormone that's known that comes from the sun is serotonin. Okay? So we can feel full and we can feel fulfilled. Why is that important? Like, what am I talking about? So if you don't feel full, then you must feel empty, right? So, okay, I need some space. Let's get rid of this over here. Okay. Now, if you don't feel full, you must feel empty. Okay? Oops, that is boom, boom. So we have a person who feels full because they're getting the sunlight that they need. We have a person who feels empty because they're not getting the sunlight that they need, or they don't have the right mindset when they go out to the sun. And we'll get to that a little later because that is very important, right? Much more important than the sun itself. But just stay with me. Hopefully I got enough time to cover all of this. Okay? So when you feel empty, and we could just bring this to hunger. If your stomach is empty, if you feel empty, you are what? Hungry. Probably starving. Which means you want to go out and do what? You want to go eat, right? And eat is a form of consumption. So you feel empty, you want to consume, right? Almost indiscriminately. Like you get hungry enough, like, yo, I can eat anything. I can eat a horse. I can eat an ox. I can eat a rhinoceros. You ready to eat anything when you feel empty enough, when you're hungry enough, right? And it's one thing, like when something's true in one area, it's true in all areas, right? So that's how you could feel like if you don't feel fulfilled in life, you just want to consume anything. That's why we consume so much television. That's why we consume so much junk food. Why we consume so much drugs and alcohols. Why we consume so much bullshit at the end of the day, right? That's what it all is. It all boils down to bullshit. And we wonder why we so fucked up. But I digress. Now, when you feel full, okay, let me get this out of the way. We know to feel full is to be fulfilled. We know we get serotonin from the sun, which is a much more direct an obvious way how you can feel fulfilled. They call it the happiness hormone. I personally call it the self-esteem hormone because the antithesis of that, like when a depressed person goes to the clinic and they get prescribed something, they usually prescribe some synthetic form of what? Serotonin, because their serotonin levels are low. They feel empty. They don't feel good. Their self-esteem ain't as high, right? So that's why I call it self-esteem hormone. But anyway, feel full versus feel empty. When you feel empty, you are more prone to consume. When you feel full, you are more prone to do what? Produce. And ironically, you'll find it easier to consume produce when you feel full, the food from the produce section, right? But I'm just talking shit. I mean, so just think of that. This alone is a strong enough reason of why and how I said the sun was able to help me lose 86 pounds just from consuming enough sun to feel full, so I can go out and spend most of my life producing instead of consuming. And then when I am consuming, I'm consuming much more produce than any other food groups, right? So much I don't eat. I'm vegan, you know what I'm saying, or mostly vegan. Mostly vegan. I'm not 100% vegan. Mostly vegan. Feeling full, ready to consume way more produce and actually go out and produce instead of just looking for something to consume because I feel so empty. I got to put something in me to feel full. Okay? It all started with the sun. So that's one aspect. I said we have 4. Okay, let me see. So let's erase all this. Hopefully that makes sense to y'all. And if anything I'm explaining, if y'all not catching something or something sound like it wasn't right, put it in the comments so I could come back and revisit it, maybe break it down a different way. Because stuff I'm teaching now, this is stuff I've been wanting to teach it this way, but I'll be feeling like, I don't know, like sometimes when you start speaking a certain way, people don't want to accept it because it doesn't sound as normal. It doesn't sound as common and normal, so people want to reject it, but it's the truth. So, but anyway, that's that. We're gonna keep the sun up here. Okay. What else does the sun contribute to? The sun contributes to what's called ATP. Many of you may have heard of this. Many of you may have not. Let's write it right here. ATP. Okay. Stands for adenosine triphosphate. What is that? This fancy scientific word. Some of you may have heard of this, though. Many of you may have not. So it's basically, I'll make that an equal sign. And they really call it this in the scientific community, as unofficially, a willpower, the willpower molecule. This is what's in our bodies. Okay? This is our energy. It's like our energy storage house. It's our willpower molecule. When we wake up in the morning, it's full. Like imagine this. Look, you ever used to play, especially the fellas, I know, women, y'all probably didn't play video games like this. Maybe you watch your mans play the video game. And like when it's a fighting game, and they'll have like they life meter up here, right? And the more red they get, like as they start getting hit, boom, some of it goes down, and they get hit again, and it goes down some more, and then they get body slammed or something, so it'll go down a whole lot. And if it goes all the way down, it's empty and they lose. This is kind of like that's how I think of our ATP. Like it starts off full when you wake up, and every decision you make, it brings it down a little bit, and it brings it down some more. The more you make decisions, this is why it's important to kind of automate a lot of things in your life. Like you shouldn't be spending too much energy trying to figure out what to eat. You shouldn't be trying to spend too much energy figuring out which bowling alley you're gonna go to, whatever. Like we should use our conscious resources on really important decisions that really move the needle. Because when it's time to make those important decisions, and then our willpower is mad low, this is all we got to make very important decisions. And this is also why when it gets later in the day, you made all these decisions throughout the day, and you're gonna turn left and right. Which color shirt did you want to wear? Did you want to talk to this person or that person? So on and so forth. Your willpower is low at the end of the day, and that's why you're more likely to give in to your junk foods, right? That's when you start talking to yourself like, yo, I should go grab them chips off the top of the refrigerator, you know what I'm saying? oh, I know I started this diet, but I'll just start over tomorrow. Like that's when you really start talking to yourself later on, like after 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. And the later it get, the worse it is for you. And you trying to fight and you got just that much left. And then sometimes it just get empty. This is the big reason why people say y'all struggle with willpower, struggle with staying consistent. What you'll find is, if you really think about it, you typically have these situations happen way later at night. So why is this important? The sun helps build your ATP base. So the more consistent sunlight you get, the longer your meter can be. So you can afford to make more decisions, right? It's just more stealth that happens when you get that sunlight. Okay, does that make sense? So if you're not getting as much sunlight, then your ATP meter can get shorter. After 10 decisions, you're done. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to getting consistent sunlight throughout the day, then it's like it can afford 100 decisions. You know what I mean? So hopefully that makes sense. So adenosine triphosphate, ATP. And by the way, look all this stuff up so y'all don't think I'm just pulling shit out my ass. Like, pardon my language for any of my elders watching, but this is real. So that's another beneficial way. So y'all want to learn how to deal with willpower and consistency? Get you some sunlight. Okay, get you some sunlight. So that was the second way. And let me actually write the list over here too, so y'all can know how exactly this is happening. We'll write it over here. So the first way we said was satiety, right? Feeling full, because to feel full is to feel fulfilled with the hormones and all of that. Or maybe I should let me put hormones actually. Okay, it's the hormonal response sunlight gives us. Okay, so it rigs the hormones in your favor. The hormones is telling you what to do, and it's kind of a hard phenomenon to fight. You want to rig things in your favor. Like, we don't want to be using conscious resources to try to be healthy or to do this goal, do that goal. We want it to be automatic. That's the only way you're going to win long term. As long as your automatic mind, as long as your subconscious processes and emotions and thoughts are going the other way, you will never be successful long term, ever. You have to get that part on your side. You have to. Okay, I'm giving you the keys. Like this is how it works. Take it from the man who lost 60 pounds in 60 days. Like of the 86 pounds, lost 60 of them in the first 60 days. And people don't want to believe me, but I'm not the only one to do it either. I mean, you'll hear on YouTube, you can find some more. Just type in like 60 pounds in 60 days. I'm not the only one who shows up. I probably won't even be on the first page. But I digress. Okay. Anyway, number 2 we said was ATP. Oops. ATP, aka the willpower molecule. Okay. All right. Whew, I'm trying to think. Do I got enough time to get into this one because it's really cool. Anyway, let's just get into vitamin D real quick. Okay, and this is something y'all knew, because y'all already know. You already know you get vitamin D from the sun, right? But it's still misunderstood, right? Vitamin D is the number one best source for vitamin D. Okay, damn your supplements and whatever other food you may have in it, it's still not going to replace the sun. Why? So when sunlight hits you, right? Let's just draw you over here again. Okay. Actually, let's give you an actual body instead of just making you straight stick figure. Boom. Sunlight hits you, and you get the vitamin D that comes from the sun. So when the vitamin D comes inside of you, excuse me, a process happens to where it converts to what's called. So first, I'm gonna just do it from here. So the vitamin D is then a process happens in your body where this transforms into what's a hormone called calcitriol. And I'll be lying. I think I spelled it right. I may have not spelled it right. But calcitriol, spelled something like that. Okay, which is a hormone. Okay, and this is actually what takes the credit. Like all the vitamin D benefits they talk about, this is what it really is, and vitamin D just gets the credit. Okay, and this is best comes from the actual sun. And a lot of these supplements, this process is compromised or doesn't happen to begin with. So a lot of you guys, you're taking vitamin D supplements, but you realize, you still feel down, you still feel depressed, you still feel all the benefits that you're looking for from vitamin D is still not happening. Why? Because you're not getting the sunlight, where you really need to get it from, so that this process can happen and then converts into calcitriol. Okay, and this is going to improve insulin sensitivity and all. Just look at it. I don't have to go over the benefits of vitamin D. That's pretty common, right? And if not, I'm just not going to do it in this video. It's an exhaustive list, right? Some people consider vitamin D, which is really calcitriol, the most important micronutrient that you could. You know how they talk about like protein is the most important macronutrient. Many people consider vitamin D the most important micronutrient you can have. Like if you can't get nothing else, you got to get your vitamin D. Okay. But also with that being said, for your body to even do what it needs to do with vitamin D, you need vitamin C. In order to have vitamin C, you need to have water because it's a water soluble vitamin. But in vitamin D, you still need to consume fat too to absorb that. But we getting all over the place. So there's that. Okay. So it's nice and short and sweet. We get into this pretty easy. Because I really want to talk about this. Okay. Because this is important. Okay. This is the most important part of everything I'm going to share with you. Okay. I don't even know how to sum this up into one word. But we'll let's call it transformation. If you want a transformation, you need some sunlight in your life. Okay. By the way, some of you may be wondering, how much sunlight do you need? It's going to be location dependent and melanin dependent, right? So if you live in an area where there's not a lot of sun, you need to be trying to get as much sun as you can, right? If you live in some place where it's dark and cold all the time, actually the more sun you need. And the darker you are, like myself, the more sun you need, right? So y'all can just use that as your rules of thumb. Like people who, like in the islands of Africa or something, they're probably getting as much sun as they need just by accident. And then I don't think it's a coincidence that they don't deal with obesity in the same ways. You know what I'm saying? They get plenty of sun. So yeah, but like if you dark skinned like me, like if you like my complexion and you living up in New York or somewhere, you got to really make a conscious effort to get a lot of sun. And, and the buildings be blocking the sun up there. It's crazy. But anyway, transformation. This is why we need it. Like y'all really need to listen up for this part, okay? Because once you really understand this, like I'm just gonna break down the mechanism to you. Once you really understand this and how this works, you can literally change your life. Like literally change your life. Okay? So DNA itself, like even RNA, because RNA preceded DNA. Billions of years ago, RNA was much more simple structured, and it was so simple it was unstable, and then eventually that evolved into DNA. Okay, we had to have something a little more complex for more stability to store all the information. And we're dealing with DNA, we get to dealing with genes and genetic expressions. Okay. Many of you are trying to manifest, right? You set your goals, you try to manifest, and a big reason why you're not manifesting successfully is because you're not making a conscious effort to get consistent sunlight, right? And you're not meditating in the sun, like really making a conscious effort to focus on whatever it is you're looking to manifest. Like, well, you sounding crazy. Now we getting into this crazy woo-woo talking, blah, blah, blah. Man. Listen, okay, so check it out. Just think of a goal, right? So let's think we'll stick to weight loss. Okay? Now, 99.9% of people who struggle with their weight from eating too much is because they will identify, and it's the truth, as emotional eaters, right? Emotions precipitate appetite. Like how you feel deals with how much you eat and the type of foods you want. So, like, for example, this is the fact. Those who are low on oxytocin are more likely to want to consume more sugar. They want more sweets. Oxytocin is what? The love and bonding hormone. And when they low on that, they want some sweets. And it's funny because Valentine's Day is all about sweets and chocolate, right? But this is all true. And also, when you're oxytocin deficient and you want more sweets, this correlates pretty high with diabetes. Okay, but that's a whole nother conversation. It's a whole nother conversation. So when we think about what it is we want to accomplish and how hormones and our genetic expressions can play a part. Somebody who is low on serotonin, right? If they're low on serotonin, they likely aren't going to be the happiest person. They're likely not going to be the most inspiring person. And if you're not this happy, inspiring person, and let's say one of your goals is to make a lot of money, or we can stick to the food, right? You want to feel better. So you're going to, and the easiest way to feel better is to go eat something, okay? If you're stressed, the easiest way to feel better is to go eat something with the cortisol produced. So if there's there's something going on with your serotonin, or there's something going on with the dopamine, right? You're likely to overconsume or want to consume the worst foods for you, or even do drugs altogether. Because junk food is just the bridge between real food and drugs, right? All the foods give you some type of dopamine. You can eat the junk food, it gives you more dopamine, and then the drugs give you all the dopamine. The junk food is the accepted drug abuse of society, right? So when your dopamine is off, your hormones is off, your oxytocin is off, this is what we go for. And all those hormones, your genes play a part because there's gene transporters, right? Like even like with the serotonin gene transporter is 5-HTTLP or something like that. I think I'm forgetting the letter, right? Anyway, the sun deals with that. The sun deals with that. So let's put you over here, okay? If you're somebody who is not happy with your health and fitness, you're not happy with your finances, you're likely just not a happy person in general. And this is why you may have self-destructive behavior, because you kind of, it's hard to get yourself together because you literally don't feel like it. You lack motivation. You wish you had the willpower. You wish you was more consistent, right? Getting some sun. But getting the sun isn't enough. You need to be meditating on what it is you want and the type of person you want to be, because it's not about, see, what when we talk about manifesting, it's not about saying, "Oh, I want $1 million," and then the $1 million fall out the sky. That's not what it's about at all, right? Or we manifest on having on the love of our life just falling in our lap. This is how many of us think about manifesting. But the reality is what? The real manifesting is manifesting the character traits that you need to attract these things that you want. So to attract that love of your life, to attract that healthy looking body that you want, to attract the finances you want, you have to have the character traits that would produce those things, that would attract those things. Understand? So when you go out to the sun, if you go neutral, it does these things. And if you are aware of it, this is why I want to make y'all aware of it. Because when you are aware of it and you believe it, the effects happen even faster. It's exponentialized. Placebo effect. It's a real thing. This is why they test medicines against placebos all the time, because that's how strong placebo is. Placebo is a fancy scientific word for your own mindset. Okay, for your mind power. That's how strong your mind is. So if you go out into the sun and you focusing on being that person to attract whatever it is you're looking to attract, the light. What people don't understand about DNA, it has a syntax, it has a language. Do you know what talks to DNA? Do you know what communicates with DNA? The sun. So you have DNA, in genes. The DNA makes the genes, and then we have the genetic expressions. Genetic expressions. Okay? What affects this, affects that, affects that. We know we get serotonin from the sun. Okay? Boom, boom. And more specifically, this enhances the serotonin gene transporter. The actual alphanumeric of it slips my mind is like 5. It's what I tried to say earlier, like 5-HTTLP or something like that. From the sunlight. And if you feeling good and you thinking about it, like you're really focusing your mind on it, and you can feel it, the effect that the enhancement of the sun has on the serotonin gene exporter and the production of serotonin in you is enhanced. So it comes faster. You're getting information from sunlight. It's downloaded into your DNA, literally transforming you into the person that you need to be to attract the goals that you want to attract. Because what else does it deal with? It also deals with the dopamine gene transporter. Like, I forget the exact name of the gene, but sunlight deals with that as well. It deals with your dopamine. Okay? Let's say your goal is to get money. And the big reason why you don't have money is because you don't believe in yourself. You don't want to take the risk. You're too scared to take the risk because you're so stressed and dealing with anxiety. You get you some sunlight and you focus on that, the sunlight is going to deal with all the genes that have to do with the dope, with all the genetic expression has to deal with the dopamine that's in your body. And when you have the proper amount of dopamine in your body, you will feel confident enough to take the necessary risks to go accomplish what it is that you want, to manifest. Yo, I manifested this body from I'm going to put a before and after up in 2 months. Well, it was longer than 2 months because I was still a little bit bigger 2 months later. But the bulk of it happened in 2 months, 60 pounds in 60 days. And another 30 pounds came off almost a year later. I plateaued after a while. But I was also happy where I was at the time, too. Like, that's the power of manifestation with sunlight. Light communicates with DNA. The most light in DNA is the most ancient communication in the known universe. Like, they have a very good relationship. They have a very good relationship. They go way back, billions of years. Billions of years. Not just broke it down to you scientifically. Like, it may sound all mystified and stuff when I just say, yo, just stand in the light and meditate and manifest your dreams and desires. Yo, I just broke it down for you. This is measurable. I gave it to you the real way. So, okay, yeah, I got to get ready to wrap up. So, also, I also want to mention this before I go. I'm having an actual, because when I started my journey, I went on a 3-day water fast. Like the bulk of my, I'm gonna call it wisdom because I've been on the path. The bulk of that came during my 3-day water fast, and I want everybody to, if you're looking to go on a health and fitness journey, I want you to start off your journey the way I started off mine because it's very, very powerful. So I'm having a 3-day water fast challenge. If you're interested in that challenge, go to theblackandmore.com and sign up. If you know you're going to be somebody who has questions and actually want to participate in the fast, get the VIP. Okay, you can get the general admission, or you can upgrade to the VIP to get the most of the experience. It's the most powerful thing I've put together to date. So, yeah, go to blackandmore.com, sign up for the 3-day water fast challenge. Which you sign up, or a little before you sign up, I'll give you the details. You'll see the details when it starts and all of that. We're gonna have it on Zoom. It's gonna be dope. I hope y'all got value out of this. I hope this made sense. Let me know what made sense. Let me know what your biggest takeaway from this is in the comments, and if it helped, or if this resonates, or you did something similar, share it in the comments and share this message with someone. Right? Share this with someone that you feel like will benefit from this. I appreciate your time. Appreciate you tuning in. I gotta go. Check you on the next one.